Waking up the first day of Gen Con is like waking up for nerdy Christmas. Everything is happening, you're excited, you're getting into cosplay, you're making breakfast, you are excited to see the running of the nerds. And honestly, I think that's one of my favorite things the first day of Gen Con to do, is see the running of the nerds. And if you don't go to Gen Con, you may not be familiar with what that is. But here's a little clip. Are you getting a shot of the doors? What happens is that everybody waits out in front of the hall doors. Usually it's Hall H, which is like the main quote-unquote entrance, and the like big boss dude, volunteer dudes for Gen Con, the ones who actually get paid to be here, not just like the volunteers, they come out and they say, hey, don't run. And there's like this whole spiel and everybody chants like, don't run, don't run, don't run. And it's super hype. And like my favorite thing, even though I want to be the first in the hall, is standing on the balcony watching everybody just flood in. Walking in Gen Con the first day is honestly like walking into like an old friend's house where you haven't been there in a while, but everything's like the same but slightly different, you know? And I just love that feeling, like that feeling of like, oh my god, like it's finally here, I'm so excited, I know all these people, I don't know them, but I've seen them before probably, and there's like hundreds of people, thousands, actually, I think Gen Con's record this year was like 60,000 people. That's a lot of people. It was amazing.
Walking into Gen Con for the first time is always such an amazing feeling. There's like this year-long build-up, and then you turn the corner and you see all the colors and the cosplays and the general nerdiness, and it just makes you feel great.
Let's talk about Artist Alley. Artist Alley is kind of like this little, like, as an artist myself, a little home away from home in Gen Con. It's like this little middle ground, and I think it was between like aisles 900 to 1300 in like the back of the convention center. It has rows and rows of booths that have just artists like sitting, like the artists who make their art sitting there with their own art, selling it, and like some have like little stickers that you can like just take, some had buttons that you could just take. There was also like some really cool like well-known comic book artists. There was also a lot of friend making happening at Gen Con. Specifically, we made friends with these really cool guys, Rory and Jack, at the, I think it was called Crimson Chain Works, something like that. It was like this really cool like LARP gear booth where they sold pretty much everything leathered. It was so beautiful. I just love leather. I get so excited because it's just, the smell of leather is beautiful. And my favorite thing that they would say is that when you would say, oh, I love the smell of leather, one of the guys would always say, well, you could take that smell home with you.
So for me, my favorite thing about Gen Con is all of the crazy personalities and people that you see walking through the halls. There is a guy at a sword booth who was like spinning fans and flipping them and being silly.
Ready.
I'll come out and meet you.
Yeah.
So, are you guys already inside? A woman playing an ocarina at an ocarina booth.
Yes. There you go.
We got to meet a guy named Gavin Smith, who's a really amazing artist, and we interviewed him for a little while, and his work is really amazing. So it's just like really cool to meet other cool nerdy people. It's a really warm feeling that you get.
See, I just like.
Try it?
Oh, that's really heavy. Can you hold my things? Yes.
Ava, can you like not break things? That'd be great.
I want to hit somebody. Can I hit you? No. Okay. Can I hit you, please?
So just
Me too.
So after Gen Con is always a really bittersweet feeling. You're really sad because all the fun and nerdiness and craziness is over, but at the same time you're happy that you don't have to get up at like 6 in the morning and like walk all day and deal with crowds full of people. But it still sucks because you want Gen Con to last forever, and then you don't, and then you do.